David here with Rockin the PKU. And first of all, before I get started, I have no regrets about going on Palynziq. It's changed my life, and it's only the beginning. There's further change to come, and I'm looking forward to it. I love it. Anyway, that being said, if you are going on Palynziq, there are things you absolutely have to know about, and there are things you have to maybe even anticipate. So I just wanted to make a video to go over that. First of all, the dosages. Okay, and let me tell you first, I'm not a medical professional, but I'm a patient who went on Palynziq, and I am keeping a normal diet right now. It has ended up doing everything it's supposed to do with me, and so I feel like I have some experience to share, and some concerns, for sure. And to me, these concerns were never grave, thank God, but they're definitely necessary to know, because you may have a hard time. Anyway, but again, it is absolutely worth it. Be strong. You got this. It's worth it. All right, let's get started. So first of all, the dosing. I went on 2.5 milligrams, and that was once a week for 4 weeks. Now I'm going over the common dosing with you. They might slow down with you personally if you're not responding well to it at first or whatever. But this is how they start everybody. 2.5 milligrams once a week for 4 weeks. 2.5 milligrams twice a week for 1 week at least. And then they jump to 10 milligrams once a week for just 1 week, unless you need more time. You start to get some side effects after a while. 10 milligrams twice a week for 1 week. 10 milligrams 4 times a week for the very next week. 4 times once daily for at least 1 week on 10 milligrams. And then they will start 20 milligrams once daily for at least 24 weeks. Now, I am still in that phase. If you do not respond after those 24 weeks, they will up it to 40 milligrams once daily. And what 40 milligrams is, they will not make a shot bigger than 20 milligrams. So you will take a 20 milligram shot in the morning, and you'll take a 20 milligram shot at night. And hopefully you'll respond to that. There's a small percentage of people who have still not. And man, they have my sympathy and my prayers. Anyway, I was a super responder, which is rare. I responded at 10 milligrams. And that, I think, had a lot to do, I think that experience had a lot to do with the complications I suffered. Anyway, let's get to those complications right now. Now, I'm sure your doctor, dietitian, biomarin rep, medical professional, just about everybody will go over the side effects with you, the potential side effects. Joint pain, like diarrhea, a few other, just to name a few, allergic reactions, whatnot. Okay, here's my experience, okay? At about, excuse me, the jump from 2.5 milligrams to 10 milligrams, I started to feel canker sores in my mouth. Now, canker sores are a thing with me. Whenever my immune system's fighting something, I tend to get canker sores. It's just kind of my body's go-to reaction when I'm trying to fight something off. So I knew that my immune system was trying to kill off the Palynziq at first. And that wasn't too bad, whatever. Big deal. And then I started getting dry mouth a week later or so. And the dry mouth was kind of hard to handle. I tried to buy like 2 different mouthwashes to combat the dry mouth. And I also have been, I was taking 15, 16 pills a day, 14 of which were Kuvan. And Kuvan tends to give you dry mouth sometimes. And I've just gotten some mouthwash, and that's cured it just fine. This didn't make any difference at all. The dry mouth started getting worse and worse, and it became really difficult to handle. Anyway, at about 10 milligrams, I want to say once daily, that was when we suspect I experienced a drop in Phe levels. That was when it started working for me. And fortunately, I didn't get a lot of the reactions, but there were several days in there when we were waiting to hear back from the results of a blood test before we realized that my Phe levels already dropped. And I got, dry mouth doesn't even break the surface. You know when you've been swimming for a long time and your hands get all pruny? That was taking place inside my mouth. And it actually felt like my entire um it felt like my entire mouth was like hypersensitive to anything the least bit acidic or spicy or even crunchy. It was terrible. It was all sore. Um and it was tight in there. It just felt really cavernous and just the weirdest feeling. I can't even describe it, but it was very unpleasant. Um, and my gums and the inside of my mouth started getting like really crimson colored, more than usual. I mean, it's usual to have some pink or something, like on the gums and so on, but this was literally like a red color. Um, it was really weird. Not only that, but I was tired. I was tired. I felt like I was sick, but my temperature never rose. I felt feverish though. Um, to my credit, I did not call in sick once, but I probably should have a few times. But anyway, very unpleasant. Really sucked. As we found out, I was severely malnourished. That explains the mouth thing. That explained the energy or total lack thereof, because my levels had already dropped. If this Palynziq starts working, you're gonna feel it immediately. Um, but all of a sudden, your body's gonna need the protein. It's gonna crave the protein, and you're going to start feeling malnourished. And that sucked. As we found out, I was talking to a friend on the phone, a very smart friend of mine, and he was looking some things up, and I was telling him symptoms and so on. And as it turns out, we believe that I had a fat deficiency when my Phe levels dropped. Because I mean, I have a lean diet anyway, I mean, because a lot of the fats come from meats and so on, which I just were totally off limits for me because I have PKU. But that Palynziq started working, and I started feeling it immediately. I was getting very malnourished. Um, I was looking really gaunt. I was losing weight. Um, the Probably the most unpleasant part of the entire experience was the malnourishment. When we were just waiting for that Phe level to come back, when I was trying to figure out what was going on, I just thought my body was still reacting to the Palynziq. Um, but no, I was really malnourished, and I mean, it sucked. I cannot explain that feeling in my mouth, but it was like I said, dry mouth barely breaks the surface. There was dry mouth going on. I was sensitive to everything. I could hardly put anything in my mouth. It all hurt. Um, and actually, I forgot to tell you, my feet started getting red, like my mouth, and they were super sensitive. And this is one of the reasons I really should have called in sick, because I could hardly walk for a few days. The skin was so sensitive on the bottom of my feet. And now we're getting into TMI territory. I'm just going to warn you, but I feel like it's necessary to know everything I went through in case you're going to start on Palynziq and you go through the same things. Um, my nether regions became very itchy and red, and I literally scratched for maybe 5 minutes one night, and the next day I was itching so bad that I dropped trow and took a look at myself in the mirror, and the skin down there was like the surface skin was dry to the touch, and the whole skin was all still dexterous, and it wasn't like growing stiff or anything. Sorry. Anyway, um, but like the skin itself was still, I mean, still moved the way it should. It was just the very surface was dry. And it itched like crazy, and it was a little darker. There was clearly a rash or something going on. You know what I mean? And so, of course, I immediately looked up necrotizing fasciitis in the groin area, because I had seen later stages and like post-surgery stages of necrotizing fasciitis when I worked at the hospital back in 2009, but I'd never seen the early stages of it, and I wanted to make sure that that wasn't going on, because that could be extremely serious very quickly. And I was getting the dry skin, so I'm like, all right, I hope this isn't dying down here. Fortunately, it wasn't. And I knew what to look for. I mean, the skin still moved even though the surface was a little dried out. And then it went away as quickly as it arrived. And to this day, I don't know if it was an initial reaction to a new food I ate, because by that point, my dietitian was telling me to take on 10 more grams of protein, stop taking the Kuvan, you know. So that was really strange. Anyway, very soon after that, we got another Phe level back, and it was just so ridiculously low that they told me, eat everything you want and don't hold back. And by that point, I had had the rash, I had had the mouth thing, the foot thing. It had all peaked, and so I immediately got on a normal diet. Within 2 days, everything was better. It just happened that quickly. As soon as I started getting that protein, which my body was craving, it all stopped. Um, been fine ever since. My energy level's been through the roof. It's been amazing. One more thing I do feel like I need to bring up before we end this video, though, is the surface skin where I do the injections sometimes gets reactions. Anything from a little red mark to a little bit of like the skin will actually get like it'll develop a bump on it. Um, I've seen it happen with like bee stings before. It's that kind of a thing, and it happens right where you inject. On your injection sites, this happens, and I'm already noticing some scar tissue. I don't think the phone's gonna pick it up, honestly, but I noticed a little bit of just red marks and maybe the start of some scar tissue. Although I think it's just still just reaction, little like red marks on the surface. I'm sure the scar tissue will come. I've been told that the scar tissue will happen. Um, you know, the number one thing you got to look out for is anaphylaxis. And I'm sure everybody's told you that. Every medical professional you've talked to has told you about anaphylaxis, and you'll have to keep your EpiPen around. Keep it around, honestly, especially when you're trying new foods. Fortunately, I never experienced anaphylaxis. Hopefully, I never will. But I just wanted to go over my own experience with everyone, because it is stuff that I did not even expect. But it happened. I mean, they tell you what to expect, but your own experience is your own experience, and you may experience some things that you've never heard about, which I did in my case. Especially if you're a super responder. Um, so just be looking out for this stuff. You know what I mean, and just anticipate it and expect it to come. If it doesn't, dude, excellent. You know what I mean? All the power to you. If it does, you're not surprised and you're not afraid and you know how to get through it. And most important thing is you always, always keep your doctor informed. Um, this is a brand new drug, and I mean, nobody really knows the long term effects of it. Um, but, so you really have to kind of put it on the books. Tell your doctor everything, you know. Um, it was embarrassing talking about the rash in my groin. But it's important. It's really important. Um, anyway, I hope this helps. Best of luck to everyone out there who's going to try this stuff. It's incredible. Like I said, it really has changed my life. Honestly, my energy level has never been so high, ever. I just can't believe how well I'm doing energy wise. I don't fall asleep in the middle of the day anymore. I tried everything in the books. I tried a medication called Provigil for a while. That was the only thing that kind of kept me from falling asleep in the day. Um, and I don't like to be too reliant on medication, and Provigil wasn't going to be covered by my insurance, so I stopped taking it, and I just continued to fall asleep every day. Exercise regularly helped a little bit, but these days I just am just bursting with energy. It's incredible. Um, it's actually a problem because I have to take some like chill pills to fall asleep. It's something herbal that I take. It's no biggie. And straight up, I do take some cannabis once in a while to get me to really relax. Um, anyway, before I ramble on, I really hope you got something out of this video. If this pertains to you, subscribe to Rockin' the PKU. For more information, more advocacy, some awareness, and you're gonna see me trying new foods. I'm having a blast trying new foods. It's really kind of a trip. Anyway, appreciate you listening to this, and I hope I helped you a little bit. And again, best wishes on your journey with Palynziq. Bye bye.